The crash came from the back door first. Wood splintering, metal screaming, the kind of noise that wakes instincts you didn't know you still had. I didn't reach for a weapon. I reached for patience. I stood barefoot in the dark hallway of my own house, cool tile under my feet, counting my breaths the way I learned to do years ago, back when losing control meant getting hurt. 2 sets of footsteps entered, heavy, confident, familiar, and then I heard it, that laugh. The same laugh that used to fill my childhood home before the bruises came. "Open up," my stepdad said. "We know you're home." That's when I smiled. It is for the first time in my life. I wasn't afraid of him, and he had no idea what he'd just walked into. I was 9 years old when my mother married him. He showed up in our lives with firm handshakes and practiced smiles. The kind of man who looked solid to outsiders. Reliable. Responsible. The kind of man neighbors trusted with their kids. The kind of man teachers nodded at during parent conferences. At first he called me champ. Then boy. Eventually he stopped using my name at all. He taught me how to throw a punch before he taught me how to tie a tie. My mother called it discipline. I called it learning the rules of survival. You learn fast when someone's anger controls the weather in your house. You learn how to read eyes instead of words, shoulders instead of voices, silence instead of safety. I learned when to disappear, when to nod, when to swallow words so they wouldn't come back as bruises. He liked reminding me that everything I had, food, shelter, breath, was something I owed him for. Approval was the currency. Pain was the interest. So I worked for it. Good grades. No trouble. I carried groceries, fixed fences, cleaned garages. I learned how to make myself small without shrinking inside. Or at least, thought I had. My uncle was different. He didn't talk much. Didn't posture. Didn't correct my posture at the dinner table or comment on my tone. He'd show up once in a while, sit on the porch with a beer and ask, "How's school?" Then he'd actually listen. No advice. No lectures. Just quiet attention. Sometimes I'd catch him watching my stepdad when he thought no one noticed, storing things away, filing them somewhere deep. Back then, I didn't understand how important that was. I just knew he felt safe. And in a house where safety was conditional, that mattered more than love. I was 15 when he decided I was done being a kid. No argument. No warning. We drove for hours that night. No radio. No destination. His knuckles were red when he finally pulled over. Rain cut sideways, the kind that soaks through clothes in seconds. Neon lights flickered nearby, buzzing, broken, ominous. A bus station I'd never seen before. He grabbed me by the collar, shoved me out of the truck, and tossed my backpack after me like garbage. "You're a man now," he said. "Figure it out." Then he drove away. No phone, no money, no plan. Just pain blooming under my skin, and a truth settling into my bones. Loyalty doesn't protect you from people who enjoy control. I slept under an awning that night. The rain soaked through everything. I didn't cry. I learned something better. The world doesn't save you. People do. Dawn came gray and quiet. I was curled up on concrete, eyes open, when I felt something warm settle over my shoulders. A jacket. My uncle. He didn't ask questions. Didn't demand explanations. He just nodded and said, "Let's go." That was the moment the boy died. 13 years passed. Quietly. On purpose. I rebuilt myself piece by piece. Education. Work. Discipline sharpened into strategy. I learned contracts, systems, and laws the way other men learned prayers. I learned that power isn't loud. It's patient. I bought a house with doors that locked and cameras that remembered. I never reached out. Never confronted. Silence is a mirror. It forces people to see themselves eventually. Then the calls started. They'd heard I was doing well. They needed help. Demanded it, really. My stepdad's voice still carried that old certainty. That belief that I existed to absorb his failures. My mother cried the way she always did when consequences arrived early. I said nothing. I prepared. Upgraded security. Logged every call. Saved every message. I let them believe I was still weak. Still afraid. That same kid they abandoned in the rain. When they broke in, it wasn't chaos. It was choreography. Cameras caught everything. Trespassing. Threats. His hands squeezing my shoulder the way it used to. I didn't resist. Didn't provoke. I pressed one button. Sirens sang. The police arrived too fast for them to adjust. My stepdad tried to talk his way out, claimed family. My mother cried. I stood there calm, watching him shrink as cuffs closed around his wrists. He looked at me like I'd betrayed him. I leaned in close and finally spoke. You left me once, I said. I never left myself. They took them away, and for the first time, the house was quiet, not threatening, settled. I slept well that night. Here's what I know now. Survival is temporary. Power is permanent. Boundaries aren't cruel, they're merciful. Some men teach you strength by breaking you. Others teach you justice by finding you in the rain. I became both, and this time, I chose where everyone slept. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button. Tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? And if you want more stories where patience beats power every single time, subscribe, because some debts don't get paid with fists. They get paid with time.